Today we're talking about Titans and how sometimes our healing takes a little bit of action. Hello and welcome to Geek Devotions, a show from devoted geeks who are devoted to letting people know that they are loved. I am Celeste and we are so excited that you hit play today. Today we are going to be talking about Titans, specifically Dick Grayson, or Robin. So this is your spoiler warning if you have not had a chance or the ability to see the season. Last week's episode was called Asylum, and in it we see the team go into an insane asylum, and it's really pretty much the doctors who are crazy in there. They give Robin, or Dick Grayson, drugs that make him face up to himself, face up to the person he has become, and the fact that he doesn't really like that person. Now, we've seen this all season, him struggling with the Robin, struggling with the fact that Bruce has turned him into a weapon, struggling with all these things. And on last week's episode of Comm Talk, we discussed it, and it's almost like he is mourning the innocence that he has lost. At the end of this episode, after him going through the drug-induced, dealing with all of these things, everything coming to a head that he's been struggling with for the last 6-ish episodes, he takes the Robin suit and he burns it. In that moment, it almost had a feel of something that was very cathartic. It was a finality to it of he is not going to be Robin anymore. Now, geek-wise, I think this means that they're going to bring in Nightwing. But
yes!
Dallas likes Nightwing. But that being said, it made me think about how sometimes, as humans, we have to get rid of things when we want to have healing. Dick Grayson is a very hurt individual. He still has hurts and wounds from his childhood, from his parents passing so tragically. As humans, we have hurts and we have wounds that need to be healed. And God wants us to heal them. He wants to give us that healing that we so desperately need. And He offers it freely. But sometimes you have to take some action. Jesus gives us a great example of having to do something for healing. Now, a certain man had been an invalid there for 38 years. Seeing him lying there and knowing he had been that way a long time, Jesus said to him, "Do you want to get well?" The invalid answered him, "Sir, I have nobody to put me into the pool when the water is stirred up. While I'm trying to get in, somebody else steps down before me." And Jesus tells him, "Get up and pick up your mat and walk." Now, to give you just a little bit of context that's not provided in this portion of scriptures, the pool that the man is talking about is at a gate that's name is Beautiful in Jerusalem, and it's the pool of Bethesda. People would step into this pool and be healed, but it would only happen when an angel stirred the water. And so only one person at a time would be healed. We don't know how long it had been since a healing had happened because of this, but this was a known place for things like this to happen. So the man had been sitting there and just couldn't get there quick enough. For 38 years. That's a long time to be holding on to a thing that's keeping you from living your life. When Jesus asks him, "Do you want to be healed?" He's asking him not if he wants to get into the water and be the first in the water to be healed. He's asking him if he wants healing, if he wants to be whole. When Jesus says, "Get up and take up your mat," there is an action behind it. We see many times where Jesus says, "Be healed," and people were healed in that instance. But this man required action. He required that it be something that he did to receive the healing. Sometimes there's things that we have to do to walk in our healing, to have it manifest in our bodies. And sometimes it's very practical. If you have blood sugar issues, the best thing you can do is get the soda out of your house. Don't drink it. Don't keep doing the things that hurt you. And sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's a habit. We have a habit of a mindset. We have a habit of saying things, which then makes us think things. It does not have to be physical. So that is my challenge for you this week. If you need a healing, spiritually, physically, emotionally, think, pray. Not think, pray. And see what God is wanting you to do. It may be that He wants you to stop talking about yourself in a certain way. It may be that He wants you to not be negative. It may be that He wants you to stop complaining. Or it may be that He wants you to get rid of the soda in your house. It can be any or all of the above. But do something to walk out the healing that God has promised you. So, speaking of walking things out, tomorrow, this weekend, we are going to be walking out community, where we go and get some coffee from Rhino and then spend a few hours catching Pokemon.
Yes!
Pokemon! We will be there at 8 a.m. and we will be getting coffee because coffee will be needed. And so for those of you who don't play Pokemon Go, come hang out. We'll be there for about an hour before the community day starts. So come hang out, come chat, come talk, and then if you're not into Pokemon, you can head out. It's okay. So, question of the week.
The week!
What is a practical way that you have had to walk out your healing? What steps did you have to take? Just, sometimes reading how somebody else did something can be super encouraging to someone who is going through something else. So, that being said, don't forget that we are trying to build our mailer list. There will be a link below if you want to get on that email list and hear what's happening and get the updates, and we will not spam you. We promise.
Spam, spam, spam!
Spamity spam! This is not Monty Python. We won't do that to your email, we promise. So, yeah, that's going to be a thing. That's a thing we're trying to build up. And if you'd like to be involved, there will be a link. Also, if you'd like to be involved or support what we do, think about becoming a devoted Patreon geek. Because of the devoted Patreon geeks, we have this devotion today. Because Dallas and I would not have been able to afford to pay for a year's worth of DC Universe.
Sure.
At least not right now. Eventually we would have gotten it, but not for quite a while. And we are very thankful for them and for the support that they give us. So if you would like to be a part of that and get some pretty sweet rewards, click the other link down below or go to our website at geekdevotions.com. All that being said, stay devoted. Peace and love.